Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sumukascha ekadantascha kapilo gajakarnakaha. Lambodharascha vikato vignarajo vinayakaha. Dhumaketur ganadhyakshaha palachandro gajananaha. Vakratundaha surpakarno herambaha skandapurvajaha. Suplam bharadaram vishtum sasivarnam chaturbhujam. Prasannavadanam dhyayet sarva vighnopasantaye. Yasyadvarada vakrabhya parishadhya parastatam. Vidhum vidhanti satatam vishvaksenam tamastraye. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha. Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Aklishtakarine. Namo Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. Krishna Dvaipaya Namjasam Sarva Bhuta Hiteratam. Vedabjabhaskaram Bande Samadhi Nilayam Munim. Janmadhyasya yatha anvayat itaratascha artheshu abhignah sparat. Tene brahmahruda yaha adikavaye mukhyanti yat surayah. Tejovari mrudam yatha vidimayo yat ritu sargo mrisha. Dhamna svena saja nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Dharmaha prochita kaitavotra paramo nirmatkaranam satam. Vedhyam vastavam atra vastu sivadam tapatrayon molanam. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Parairishvaraha. Sadhyo Hridi Avarudyate Atra Kritivihi Sutrushivihi Tatkranat. Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam Sukamukat Amrita Dravasam Nitam. Vipata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Bhuraho Rasikaha Bhuvi Bhavukaha. Narayanam Namaskrittila Ranchaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Jasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Now, with the Bhagavan's grace, let us continue from where we left off in our last class. We came up to Slokam number 7, Adhyayam 29, Skandam number 3. In response to Devahuti's request and prayer, Bhagavan is now going to describe Bhakti Yoga. The very first Slokam, Bhakti Yoga, Bhaguvidro, Margehi Bhavini Bhavyate. Swabhava Gunamargena Kumsam Bhavaha Vidityate. There are many Bhakti Margangas are there, but pathways are there, and they appear different based upon the tendencies and the aspirations and the characteristics of the Gunangal of the various Mansha, various people. So that up to the point we came. Now, next to three Slokams 8, 9 and 10, Bhagavan is going to describe Tamasic Bhakti, Rajasic Bhakti and Satvika Bhakti. Then, subsequent to that, the Bhakti goes even beyond all Gunangal, all characteristics at all, right? That's the supreme most. So, as we move into this teaching, it occurred that we should probably look at to understand Tamasic, Rajasic and Sattvic Bhakti. We all do this. We all have our favorite form of Bhagavan that we worship. We have pictures, photographs in our puja room, right? And we do many rituals. We go to the temple. There's so many other things that we do. And we do charity, yajnangal, homam, whatever else that we do, right? And various festivals that we celebrate. Right now, Diwali is coming. So many things that we do, right? So why do we do that, right? If you understand the why, and then the how we do it becomes a little bit easier to understand, which is where the Tamasic, Rajasic, and Sattvic Bhaktis are. And then once that point becomes clear with Bhagavan's grace, then we transcend and go beyond to what Bhakti is really is. So let us open up in the Bhagavad Gita, Adhyayam 12, Bhakti Yogam in Bhagavad Gita, Slokams 1 to 5. basically the question is, Arjuna is asking, Swami, should I do form worship or formless worship? Right? Which is better? Right? Which people will following which one is better? Now, this is a question that, very much applies to us. They're all trained in a certain way, and there are different religions in the world that some of them do not subscribe to form worship. We all know that. But now the question is, the desire for worship is very much there in people. So which one should I do? Which is better for me? Right? That's the first slokam in Adhyayam 12. I'll very briefly cover these slokams in Bhagavad Gita, because then we can come back to Bhagavatam. Arjuna Uvacha. Evam satata yuktaha ye bhaktaha tvam pari upasate ye cha api aksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vitamaha. The question is asking, Arjuna Uvacha. Evam satata yuktaha ye bhaktaha tvam pari upasate ye cha api aksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vitamaha. See, then Arjuna speaks, Evam, now you have described in the last slokam in the previous adhyayam, the Surapadarshana is that Matkarmakit, Matparamo, Matbhaktaha is what he says. So that, continuing that, Evam, this way, Satata Yuktaha ye Bhaktaha Tvam Paripasate. Evam, this way, Satata Yuktaha, completely establishing their mind in this, which is Matkarmakrit, Matparamo, Matbhaktaha, Sangavarjitaha. If you look at the last slokam in Adhyayam 11, it's a continuous dialogue between Arjuna and Bhagavan. And when Bhagavan says in the previous slokam, Matkarmakrit, Matparamo, Matbhaktaha, Sangavarjitaha, Nirvairaha, Sarvabhuteshu, Yaha, Saha, Mameti, Pandava. So he says, Matkarmakrit, Matparamo, Matbhaktaha, we will discuss it many, many times, a very important teaching from Bhagavan. We discuss it several times. And the Sangavarjitaha, without being attached to the results of the action. Then Nirvairaha, Sarvabhuteshu, without any enmity towards all beings. That person attains me, Mameti. Okay? That's the instruction that Bhagavan is giving. Arjuna is listening carefully. He says, very good. Evam, this way. So mind, Satata Yuktaha, the mind focused on this particular point you mentioned, which is all the actions I do or your actions only. I'm doing it to please you. I'm doing this to the best of my ability as worship to you. Right? I'm considering you as a supreme person whom I must please. And also I'm doing it very lovingly to you. And I'm not attached to the result. I also have no enmity towards people. Everything your mind is focused on this way. Satata Yuktaha, ye bhaktaha tvam paripasate, those people, those devotees who worship you like this. Cha api, and also, ye avyaktam aksharam tesham, ye avyaktam aksharam tvam paripasate. Avyaktam aksharam means something that's beyond the senses in the mind to conceive. Aksharam means indestructible. Okay. So what does it mean? So one is to focus the mind on completely offering everything to you and as doing all the actions as your agent to please you lovingly, etc., etc. The other is to those devotees, Tvam Paripasate, they think of you as something beyond the mind and the senses and everything, and also indestructible. Which is in this case, if you take prema, for example, right? Beyond mind and all that, it's also indestructible. So, do I do all my work and offer everything to, for example, to prema, to very love and offer everything to love as injected by that? Or do I think of Rama or Krishna or Venkatachalapati and offer everything to him? This is the question. Among these bhaktas, Tesham, in these two types of bhakta, right? Ke yoga vitamaha, who is the one who actually knows the bhakti yoga better? Who is doing a better job? In your opinion, is what is asking. Is the form worship or the formless worship? To put it in another way. Bhagavan says, next slokam, see Bhagavan uvacha, Mayi avesya manaha ye mam nitya yukta upasate, Shraddhaya parayopetaha te ne ittatama mataha. He says, Bhagavan Uvacha, Mai avesya manaha, ye mam nityayuktaha upasate. The mind completely, like avesam means like a completely impelled force, or the kind of thing that's not in your control. Uncontrolled manner, the mind is established only in Bhagavan. Nityayuktaha, firmly established without any change or variation or any shaking or anything like that. Nityayuktaha, and also with the Shraddhaya. Okay? And so, Paraya Shraddhaya, with tremendous Shraddha towards the Supreme Being, whoever paripasate, mam upasate, whoever worships me that way, they yuktatamaha memataha. They know the Bhakti Yoga well. Okay, they are skilled in that. This is my opinion. So Bhagavan doesn't say form or formless. He says, whoever puts the mind firmly established in me as a Supreme Being, completely established, he is the one who is skilled in Bhakti Yoga. This is my opinion. Then he answers the question, form or formless. The first question is, it really doesn't matter. Whether you do form or formless, your mind should be completely established and unshakably established in me. That's a qualification. Okay? Next comes, then in number 3, he says, Yetu aksharam anirdesam avyaktam paripasate sarvatragam achintyam cha kutastam achalam dhruvam. So 3 and 4 we take together. We're talking about the formless worship now. Okay? So number 4, Sanniyasya indriyagramam sarvatra samubuddhayaha te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hite rataha. Okay? Then Bhagavan says, let me read the slokam again. I know I went a little bit fast probably, because we have covered this earlier, I believe. So I'm going a little bit faster. 3 and 4, again, let me read it. Yetu aksharam anuddesam avyaktam parvipasate sarvatragam achintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam sanniyamya indriyagramam sarvatra samubuddhayaha te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hite rataha. Those people, we talking which bhaktas are better. So if those two means even though the mind should be completely established in me, that is what's important. They are very good, skilled in Bhakti Yogam. This is my opinion in the previous lokam. But then he says, but to sarvatra samabuddhayaha, sarvatra in all places, samabuddhayaha with equal one-pointed mindset without any differentiation, indriyagramam sanniyamya, controlling all the senses perfectly. Sanniyamya is beautifully controlled. Anirdesyam avyaktam. Anirdesyam means cannot be described in words. Something that cannot be described in words. Avyaktam means something that is beyond senses to conceive and cognize. And achintyam, something beyond the mind to conceive. Sarvatragam kutastham. Sarvatragam, all pervasive, present everywhere. Kutastham is present everywhere. Kutastham means absolutely firm, without any change, changeless, firmly present in the same manner. No increase, no decrease, no change. Kutastham, no changes, changeless. Achalam, unshakable. Dhruvam, firmly established. Aksharam, indestructible. So these are some of the adjectives for the Paramatma that Bhagavan is describing. So just quickly going through the adjectives again in English so you understand. Okay, one who has controlled the senses very well and has got a one-pointed mindedness everywhere. See, samadukke, susukadukke same krutva visada. That's samabuddhi. Okay, one who has got that, controlling the senses. Okay, that's been attained. Then, how does one relate to Bhagavan? He looks at Bhagavan as something that's present everywhere, indescribable, beyond the ability of the senses to cognized, uncognizable, unthinkable, beyond the mind, my ability of the mind to think, and present in all times, in all places, changeless, firmly established, and stable, doesn't shake, and indestructible. That entity, ye paripasate, those people who worship that, who all the time meditate on it, do the dhyanam on it, paripasate. Then with that, sarvabhuta hite rataha, all the beings must be sukham, must be happy, must be blissful, must be peaceful. This is a very important mindset that comes. Those people who worship me like this, they mameva prapnuvanti, they attain me only. Bhagavan describes it this way. In Bhagavatam, Bhagavan describes it the other way. First he describes the Guna Upasana, then the Nirguna Upasana. Then here Swami says, right at the beginning, this, whatever you do, put your mind in me, but then if you're worshipping this indestructible thing beyond the mind and the ability of the senses to congregate, etc., then, and also Sarvabhuta Terataha, then you attain me. This is the way he begins. There in Slokam 5 is very important for people like you and me. Then he says, Klesaha adhikataraha tesham avyakta asakta chetasam avyakta hi gatihi dukkham devavadbihi avapyate. Let me take it a little bit slowly because it definitely applies to me and it applies to you. You also pay attention why the form worship, what is the role of the form worship. Okay. Key thing is the mind must be established. I can focus the mind on Bhagavan's lotus feet. That's very important. But then I have a form to focus on. Why is it important? Because it facilitates. It facilitates a relationship and the ability of my mind to focus on a form. Because I am attached to form. I have a certain form. I have in this world, everything is Satchit Anandam, then Nama Rupam. But everything is Satchitanandam only, but the creation has got Namam and Rupam. We got name and form. Without that, it is not possible for us to relate. My mind relates only to name and form. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Klesaha adhikataraha tesham avyakta asakta chetasam avyakta hi gatihi dukkham devavidbihi avapyate. Avyakta asakta chetasam. Now, if I have to focus on the formless Bhagavan, avyaktam, something beyond my mind to think or even imagine, and that I know that Paramatma is beyond that, but I'm going to focus on something that is unthinkable, beyond my ability to even conceive. Avyakta chetasam. But I want to do that. Those people, tesham, for those, klesaha adhikataraha. It becomes very difficult. Adhikataraha, very much, too much klesaha, difficult. Those people who want to focus on the formless, the indestructible entity beyond the senses and beyond the ability of the mind to conceive, that is present everywhere, unshakably present. And if I want to focus on that, it is very difficult. Klesaha adhikataraha. Why? Dehavadbihi. Those people who are attached to the body, which means body is a form, isn't it? I'm attached to it. For those people, avyakta gatihi, to conceive of something that is beyond form, dukkham, very difficult. Avaptehi, very difficult, through great difficulty only. Avaptehi, it is attained through very difficult for them to think of, focus on something formless. Isn't it, he says? Because I'm attached to form, therefore it's easier for me to focus on a form. I'm attached to form, my mind always attaches itself to form, very difficult for it to think of the formless. So this is what Bhagavan says. Then, number 6 and 7, we'll come back to it as appropriate later. When you take up probably Slokam beyond 11 onwards, we come back to that in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Now, so the basic point here is this first five slokas. Right? Swami, fine, you say dhyanam and all that, mat karbaka, tat paramo, mameva sharanam braja, all these things are there. But who is this mom? So who should I focus on to say, Swami, I surrender, my sarvani karmani samyasya. So many things are there. Whatever you do, you offer that to me. Whatever you speak, you offer that to me. But who am I offering to? What should my mind focus on? Should I focus on a form? Or should I focus on the indestructible formless entity? Which is better? That's a question. So, Bhagavan says, the important thing is for the mind to be focused. Stiram, unshakably should be focused on me. That is what's important. That is the highest path. Then, he says, those people who focus on the one entity present everywhere, and that also includes Sarvabhuta Hiterataha, because they see the same entity everywhere present, all they want that all beings to be peaceful and happy, that mindset is there. Those people reach me very quickly. Then, for those people who want to follow this, of looking for Bhagavan who is present in everything, the formless one who is present in all forms, and the entity that is present in all places at all times, in all ways, in so many ways it is present, but there's only one entity. People who want to focus on that, the pathway is extremely difficult. Why? Because they are all attached to form only. For a mind that is attached to form, to think of the formless is an extremely difficult pathway, is the answer. Quickly summarizing these five. This is important. And then, because of this, we all worship forms. We go to Bhagavan, we say Saniswara Bhagavan, Pralayar, okay, whatever that form we have in our tradition and culture, it makes it that much easier for us. Immediately some difficulty comes, okay, I'll do Hanuman Chalisa, I'll do Hanuman Vadamalai. So many things we immediately think, immediately Mahalakshmi Puja. Okay, so many things we think of, isn't it? The reason is the mind is attached to a form. Okay, now why do I do this worship to Bhagavan? That sloka we're going to take up next. Because some problem comes, immediately I'll go and I have a prayer. Okay, I'll go into Hanuman Vadamalai or something like this, right? Or do Sudarshana Homam. So many things we usually say. Why? Because in this world, our world, Bhagavan himself says, that sloka we'll take up Bhagavan's next class in Adhyayam 4, okay? That's 4, 11 and 12, or maybe 10, 11 and 12. He says, yes, that is true, but you see how Bhagavan attracts each one of us in so many ways. In this created world, in this materialistic world, in our life, we all want quick result from our actions. Yes or no? I want to do something and I want to see the result of it. Right? If I say I do something now and I'll get result 10 births later, I'm not interested in that because I don't see it. So I also want to be palan, so to speak. Here, praying to Bhagavan to cure my stomachache, for example, is requiring something that as a result of an action is what people all desire. So when they desire like that, they worship with various devadegas. If it is Vigneswarar, to remove all obstacles. If it is give education and knowledge, we pray to Saraswati. So many ways, right? Now, because we want our tendency or propensity is to do action and want result. So, because of that, they worship these various devadegas, okay? But even though they worship in so many devas and all that, desiring different things, they don't realize it is only me that they are worshipping. Okay, that is a slokam in 4.10. Then he says, in whatever way they worship me, in whoever way they want, I approach them the same way and give them exactly what they want. This is how Bhagavan is attracting that. So the next point is, see, bhakti is not something that is foreign and strange, something that I have to acquire. No. It's all, each one of us is an embodiment of bhakti only. Only bhakti, that is only love for God. That is all there is. But I'm obstructing it in so many ways. In my limited way of life, desiring results, I worship. I worship a form because form worship is easier for me, for the mind to latch on to. So I worship a form, desiring results, and that activity is also okay. Bhagavan says, beautiful. You whatever way you worship and whatever you want, I give it to you that way. So that is what we do in our life. Now, this we'll take up in Adhyayam 4, 10, 11 and 12, followed by Adhyayam in Bhagavad Gita 9, 22 to 28. Once we understand what on earth is happening in our life, how Bhagavan is never letting us go, never letting me go, always holding my hand and guiding me, taking me along, and slowly removing my ignorance, isn't it? Then once I understand this is what is happening in my life, then Kapila Bhagavan says, fine, you do this, but there are 3 types of bhaktis here. One is a tamasic way that you are doing it, there's a rajasic way you're doing it, and there's a sattvic way you're doing it. That also we're going to learn. Once I do that, learn that, that is in Slokams 8, 9 and 10 in Srimad Bhagavatam, then after that Bhagavan says, but how should you really worship? Those people who go beyond this tamasic and rajasic and sattvika bhakti, how do they really love Bhagavan? Those are all described. So this is the quick summary of what is coming. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.